up, y'all? You have tuned into, yeah, I'm sorry. I messed up. We live. Woo. All right. You know what? You have tuned into an InStyle Atlanta news break, and I'm your host, Saint CJ. Joining me tonight is Miss J from Juicy Pop on InStyleAtlanta.com. Thank you for joining me tonight, Miss J.
Hey, CJ, thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It was just so much little juicy stuff going on in the news lately. I was like, let me call my girl Jordan. Like, let's get this talk it out. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So, you know what? Tonight we got a few hot topics on the whole situation with Sean Diddy Combs. You ready to tap into that?
Let's get all up in it, okay?
All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna just go ahead and read this little spiel. You know what I'm saying? Because after Cassie debuted, you know, a lot of other people came out, but now a whole new lawsuit dropped today. So here we go. In a new lawsuit, Jane Doe accuses Combs of sexual assault. Combs allegedly gang raped at 17 years old inside of Combs' recording studio in Manhattan in 2003. After the high school student was trafficked across state lines and piled with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol.
Danger!
Jeez. Allegedly, 34-year-old Combs, former bad boy president Javier. How do you say his name? Is it Harvey?
Harvey Pierre.
Javi Pierre and a third man took turns raping her in a bathroom at Daddy's House recording studios. In the 14-page complaint, Jane Doe alleges after meeting Pierre in a lounge in Detroit, he invited her to a private jet ride to Teterboro Airport in New Jersey to personally meet Combs in New York. Pierre and a third unidentified man transported her to the studio where they met Combs. The complaint includes being drugged, non-consensual vaginal sex, and being violently forced to perform oral sex. The complaint also contains alleged photos of Jane Doe at Daddy's house, one of her sitting in his lap. The new lawsuit was filed by lawyer Douglas H. Wigdor on behalf of Jane Doe after he previously represented R&B singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura in her November 16th complaint against Combs. Following the latest filing, Diddy has released the following statement. Take that. Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Diddy said he about to fight for the truth, y'all.
You in danger, girl.
Y'all ready for that?
I think the truth already came out, CJ. There's two consistent stories going on with these women, and I don't think they associated with each other. So why would they make up these lies about Diddy?
Right. I mean, because I don't think you could just go and file a quick little lawsuit and then it's just be full of lies. Like you have to have something. Like I'm pretty sure the lawyers that are behind all this have something in like, oh, no, this is like real evidence. Okay, we about to file a lawsuit because then at that point in time, if they don't, they're wasting their time and they're not even going to get paid. So why would they even sign up for this to not get paid?
I think we are going through the surviving Diddy era now. We went through surviving R. Kelly. Now we're going through surviving Diddy. Like Harvey Pierre used to be on Making the Band with Diddy. He, I'm sure, probably was some type of wingman for him, recruiting these women, bringing them back to Diddy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of celebrities, they make that a requirement for a woman to date them or have any type of sexual connections with them or relations. They will make it a requirement that you have to mess with somebody else in their entourage in order to get to them first. And it might be a couple of people you got to get through to get to them. But I'm just saying, like, now Harvey to be brought into all of these claims, and then God knows who the third man is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So here's the thing. So you saying that you feel that in order to be with a man like Puff, you gotta get gangbanged?
Yeah, and from what this complaint is sounding like, it sounds like that's what she had to go through, or she did experience that.
Right, right. Well, okay, during the whole complaint, it's like she's encountering this like one night. So it doesn't seem like it was like a Cassie situation, full blown Cassie situation. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the fact that she's 17, that's not cool. Cause then, you know, Dame and Nick also addressed the whole thing of dealing with like underage girls and how the whole industry's been doing this for a long time.
Exactly.
So with that being said, it's like people just getting groomed, like, or
My other concern is CJ, and is not to shame any victims at all. When you meet celebrities or somebody that's a part of their entourage, what are you really expecting when you go into these situations? Are you just going to look and say, hey, I sing, I rap, I do this, let me go ahead and get a deal with you? Or are you looking to have some type of sexual contact with these people? Like, people clout chase. They'll
okay,
do things.
okay, so let's take it back because we're dealing with two different times.
Right.
Like, so she was 17, right? And so now this was like what, 20 years ago or something like that. So with that being said, where we were 20 years ago is not where we are technology wise now. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So with that being said, back in the day, I'm pretty sure people got a lot away with a lot of stuff all the time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think half of these celebrities probably would have did the things that they have done in the past if they would have known the way technology is today, the way movements happen today, like how it all comes about. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, people would have been scared,
Right.
blackball, like
Right.
life threatening. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
There's
now,
pictures of her sitting on their laps inside of the studio. And
yeah,
my question is, did she tell them from jump that she was 17? Because we all have had a friend or known someone who has
yeah,
lied about their age,
yeah.
dated over guys,
I mean,
and
when I know when I was younger back in the day, I probably lied about my age a couple times just to be around certain people. But at the same time, did I ever like put myself in that position like that? Absolutely not. Because I mean, nah.
and maybe she didn't expect it to go to this extent.
Right,
However, with it going to this extent, now it's a bigger issue because she was 17 at the time. So
right.
now the ball it puts the ball back in her park, and she now has control of this situation.
Let me ask you this: with Cassie coming out and with her entire lawsuit, and
Mhm.
then getting her payday, right?
Mhm.
If Cassie didn't get her payday, do you think all these other women would have stepped up to the plate and said, "Hey, yeah, I'm accusing him of this too"? They
Probably
would have
not.
cracked.
Probably not. I think Cassie coming out was kind of the opening of the floodgates for everyone else to follow suit. And a lot of times people will say, well, why did they wait so long to file this lawsuit? Why are they just now coming out? Well, when you're a victim of sexual assault, sometimes you don't have that courage. Sometimes you're still trying to process what you experienced, what you went through. And then once you finally come to terms with it, that's when you're like, okay, let me go ahead and file this. And then also with all the policies and the rules that they were having that were changing within the state of New York, they had to file by a certain time. So that's the other reason behind all of these lawsuits coming out at the same time. And yeah, it's a lot, I'm sure, for Diddy and his kids, especially like his kids are old enough to know what is going on. The fact that he has twin daughters and his daughter Love, like you got to also take that into consideration. I would feel some type of way if that was my dad or if that was a friend, like his daughters were friends of my child, and I'm not letting my child go over to your house no more. Like, I
Right.
don't even want my child associated with your kids at this point. So he keeps saying that he's trying to protect his family, but you also got to take accountability for your potential actions.
Absolutely. Like I said, it goes back to, I think all this stuff is still alleged, right? So he has not been convicted of anything. But at the same time, it's just like, I think if this stuff is true, I don't think his movements would have been the same if he would have known stuff like this could happen 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people might not be aware, but what New York did, New York State extended the statute of limitations for sex crimes, right? So it says the new legislation extends the period of time to a victim has to take action against an abuser for a variety of sex crime. For second degree rape, the period was extended to 20 years. For third degree rape, the statute of limitations was lengthened to 10 years. The previous statute of these crimes was originally 5 years. So that's like Jordan said, that's why you're seeing all these lawsuits pop up. And the deadline was Thanksgiving.
Right.
Thanksgiving Day. That's why everything popped off like it did. You had Jimmy Iovine, you had L.A. Reid, you had Jamie Foxx. Like everybody's coming out the woodworks because they had to get it in by a certain time. So when everybody's like, yo, what's up? What's going on? Like all this is happening. They actually had to get it in by a certain time. So now it's actually just slowly being released. But at the end of the day, you have some people that be like, you know, he settled, so he has to be guilty.
Well, and that's what I was going to say too. Cassie was trying to settle this quietly for weeks prior to all of this hitting the blogs and the news. The fact that he did not settle and he did not acknowledge the lawsuit, and he probably thought she was just playing around, or she really wasn't going to press charges or file any complaints against him in lawsuits. Now that the shit hit the fan, now he's like, okay, now I got to protect my name. I got to, show face. I got to protect everything that I've built up to this point, from Bad Boys to all the deals he got with the DeLeon and Ciroc. You know what I'm saying? He got Carisha Please behind him. He has Revolt. Like, he's lost all of these partnerships because of this. Now, if he would have just gone ahead and settled quietly, done away with it, we would have never even known about none of this.
Very, very true.
Never even heard about these other 3 or 4 lawsuits that have come out since Cassie. So really, you only got yourself to blame at this point. Like, you got to take account.
What about, you got people like Roger Bonds, who used to be security, speaking up, saying like everything Cassie said is true. You got Kid Cudi. He said, yes, that man blew up my car.
Right. Allegedly, he hung Wale over a balcony of a studio because of Cassie.
We ain't heard from Wale yet.
Now his team did come out and say that was not true.
I said, excuse me. I said, we have not heard from Wale. Wale has
spoken out himself. However, despite all of these allegations, again, they're all consistent with each other. They're similar stories. And I kind of feel like Roger, so I even said with the whole R. Kelly situation, the people that were out recruiting these girls, the parents that were allowing their daughters to go with these men, knowing that these men potentially weren't going to give them the record deal that they were initially looking for. You got to start holding these other adults accountable as well. So Roger Bonds and everybody else that was in these rooms recruiting these girls, knowing that he was beating on them, knowing that he was raping them, knowing that y'all were taking part in all of these acts, y'all need to be held accountable just as much as this man does.
Y'all needed a paycheck.
That part. So y'all can
y'all wasn't saying anything. Nobody was.
And they don't come back around.
Ooh, yeah, I can't. So I'm gonna say this: when it comes to his kids, one thing I haven't agreed with that I've seen is what Suge did when it comes to Justin. Leave them babies out of it. I don't care how they are. Leave them babies out of it. It's kind of like the whole thing that happened with Khloe Kardashian when they were going through their whole thing talking about OJ is her daddy. Like,
leave the kids out. The kids
kids out of it. Like, that's not even right. That's not even fair. You know what I'm saying? That's not even fair to Justin. Or let's say Justin might even been questioning something about the way he was raised or how he fits in or something like that. And then you just come out and say some craziness like that. Like, that's not cool. You got to leave the kids out of it. I don't agree with stuff like that.
These are off limits. Like, anybody talk about my son, baby, I'm going to war, okay? Going through hell and hot water. I don't care what it is, who it is. You talk about my son, you do something to my son, that's it for you. You writing your death sentence at that point. So I can't even be mad at him for wanting to protect his family. But now it's like, how does he protect his family? Because there's so many allegations and they're so similar. It's crazy. You can't deny it. Like, you can deny it, but can you really deny it? I don't know.
But that's the thing, though. After paying, what was it, $100 million settlement, or was it 30? Do we have clarification on that?
So we don't have any real confirmation, but allegedly it was around 100 million. She was only asking for 30 million, but since he took so long to settle, I mean, today price ain't yesterday price. I'm with Cassie on that one. If she did go up on the price a little bit,
That is
3 months.
true, but it's like when you do pay a settlement that big, how do you also come out and say, I ain't do none of that?
Exactly. That's I'm saying. I'm gonna pay you something just to get you to shut up and get you to go away, but I ain't gonna pay you 3 times as much as you was initially asking for. That's insane.
Maybe he should have revised and said, I ain't do all of that.
But I'm gonna pay you for what I did do.
I'm gonna pay you for what I did do, but all that you talking about, I ain't do all of that. Like I ain't do all of that now.
I did send you on a couple of trips so you could recover after I beat your ass a couple of times.
That's horrible. Horrible. And then Azalea trying to chime in.
Right, exactly.
People still don't like you. Don't do that.
But I didn't blow up Kid Cudi car. Oh, okay, Diddy. Oh, okay.
I remember I was living in LA at the time when we heard that, and I was like, he did what?
Yeah. Now that's psychotic. Okay. Very psychotic.
How you feel you walk out your house and your car on fire?
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
it's a no for me, dog.
Too?
I would say, Cassie, go home.
Please, Cassie, blink twice. Are you okay? Carisha,
okay?
What's Carisha? That's my question. Why hasn't Carisha said anything about this situation? Carisha is very outspoken on every other topic. She just getting into it with academics a week or two before all of this popped off. Her and Saucy Santana. And neither one of them has said anything to address this.
What do you want her to say? Like, let's be.
They need to know. Are you okay?
I mean, Carisha came out and said she was getting peed on, and then she said it was a lie. So it's like,
dang.
That's what I say. What do you want her to say? Do you really want her to blink? She's not gonna blink twice. She's not gonna do that.
She needs to stop settling. That's part of her problem now. She's settling for the wrong things and wrong people.
Ooh, Carisha's settling?
Carisha is settling for Diddy. She is. If she's allowing a man who has been accused by multiple women to say that he's abused them, he's raped them and beat them and everything else underneath the sun that you could possibly think of, why would you continue to be with him? And the thing is, and so now my question is too, now that he's getting potentially dropped from De Leon, does that lose all of her sponsorships and stuff for Carisha Please? Because Carisha Please, they always taking De Leon breaks. Bartender, another drink, please. Like, how does that affect her brands now? Are people going to want to do any type of deals with her because she's associated with Diddy?
That's a very good question. I just hope that she has set herself up strategically to keep herself separate from it all. Like, I hope he helped teach her that much. The people that she has in her corner, I hope they set that up for her, so therefore she's not affected. But at the end of the day, my man, that's your brand. That's your brand. That's your brand. So what do you do?
And city girls are slowly losing their momentum. So I really just want to know, like, what can you do to sustain yourself as a brand and as an individual outside of what Diddy has done for you?
That's the thing, though. Everything that she's done to sustain herself as an individual, he has brought to the table.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm a little curious and a little concerned for sis. These new trucks and houses and bodies and everything else that we're getting, sis.
No.
I have questions and I want answers. I need to know what Carisha has going on. What is going through her head? Like, have you been in communication with this man? Have you asked him about these allegations? Where are you with this situation? Because you have a young daughter yourself.
Right.
So, and I'm sure he's potentially been around her kids because she's definitely been around his kids.
Right.
And y'all are not together, but y'all together.
That's my man.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, CJ. So I don't know. I'm concerned for Carisha.
I mean, I can understand that, but I think she's gonna be good. But in terms of her actually saying something on this, I don't think she needs to. For the simple fact that it can just put her in a position where people actually will choose a side when it comes to what she has going on, and that's a no go. I think silence is definitely golden in this moment for her, and she needs to stay that way. Focus on what she's been doing. Focus on what she's been building. Maybe it's time for City Girls to come out with some more music. Maybe this is the time. Maybe they need a Christmas album.
City Girls Christmas album.
Yes.
And I'm a twerk for you, twerk for you.
Yeah. Santa, I'ma do it. Ooh. Ooh.
And if y'all do come out with that song, City Girls, we need our own little piece of that.
We need it. Yeah.
Because we gave y'all the idea. Ooh, wait, CJ, I don't know. This is a lot.
So I got another big one. So another one that's been on Diddy's like attack list right now. They attacking Diddy right now. 50 Cent. 50 Cent. This man has made some moves, some real crazy moves, major moves by saying things like, when he posted to Diddy, like, yo, come on, sell it to me. Sell it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I can make sure you choose straight before AT&T and such drop you.
Exactly.
People wouldn't even
think.
Actually
be here for 50 Cent to take over his portion of Revolt. Simply because he's had so many issues with stars in the past, as far as all of his shows that he has over there, with them leaking episodes. To see him bring all those shows, all the power shows,
right,
EMS over to a Black-owned streaming service and platform, I'm here for it.
I like 50 on stars. I pay that little $10, 20, whatever it is a month. I think it's 10. I paid a little $10 for 50 All Stars. I do. But to see him on Revolt, I can understand that. I can see why you feel that way. But at the same time,
help the Revolt brand grow a little bit more.
It definitely will help the Revolt brand grow. However, the way this man is going after this man, I don't think he's gonna survive. I literally just saw something that 50 said, like, all the proceeds that he makes from surviving Diddy will go to the victims.
Yeah.
So with a man doing a documentary called Surviving Diddy, why would he sell his portion of Revolt to you? Why would he do that?
Because 50 don't need no money. 50 is good. 50 ain't got to do nothing ever again in life. He has, honestly, I'm not into the Power 4 show, but I have started getting into it. I sat down and started watching it. But he has Raising Kanan. He got the book 2. He has BMF. Well, all of those different shows that he has, he don't got to pick up a mic another day in his life. And he don't really have to write another episode another day in his life. Absolutely. He's good. And he's doing what should be done for the victims.
At the same time, I think the way he's coming at him and being like, I know 50 is being 50, but if I was 50, I'd be like, I ain't selling you shit. I ain't selling you shit and I'm standing on business.
Okay, King. At this point, I feel like 50 has to, Diddy's gonna have to either sell or they're gonna somehow find ways to completely just sever ties with him, because who wants to be associated with that? The longer they're associated with him, the worse off I feel like it's gonna be for the brand of Revolt.
So here's the thing. With that being said, I kind of want to speak on cancel culture a little bit, right? So with cancel culture, right? In a court of law, the way our justice system works, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? And it's all about a reasonable doubt, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. But cancel culture is canceling people just for the association.
Right.
But what happens if it all comes down at the end and it comes out like, okay, it's not true? And people have lost their livelihood. Then what?
I hear what you're saying. I do. However, let's go back to Diddy and this settlement with Cassie. I feel like him settling for the undisclosed amount that he settled for, which is allegedly and reportedly $100 million. that to me is some form of admission of guilt and wrong. So the fact that he has paid her to silence her or whatever, she can't ever speak on this situation ever again. I'm sure she probably had videos, messages, all kinds of witnesses that were willing to testify against him. So to save him and to save his brands again, he's done what he wants to do. Now, to your point with canceling culture and us canceling people before they're proven wrong, we do jump the gun sometimes. Okay. We do.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of detectives on social media who feel like they can piece stories and situations together. Now, can I say that Diddy has done all of these things to all of these women? I can't say because I wasn't there, so I can't agree or disagree with the allegations. However, I kind of feel like there's just some things that are true to him. That's like your man cheating on you and a girl coming and saying, oh, he cheated with me and this, that, and the third. You have to do something in order for her to even put you in a position to allege that you did these actions. Right. So there has some type of association with these women, whether or not it was consensual, he's going to have to prove that in the court of law. But I don't know. There's too many. Sorry, I can't pick this side, CJ.
I think the closest that we're going to get to this in terms of law is in the new season of Law and Order SVU. This will be an episode, and I just want to see what Detective Benson got to say. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Elliot Stapler come up and do on the Mission Impossible.
Everything. No, shit is not gonna work now, baby. They gonna find some type of evidence, but that's what I'm saying. Some of these women, when they approach celebrities, they go with some type of intention on framing them. Somehow they've concocted up some crazy situations in their head already. So they come with the notion, they already have this already thought up in their heads that they're gonna come and say, oh, he raped me. Yes, it's easy for women to accuse men of doing that, especially celebrities. But again, back to what I said earlier, when you're meeting them, you're going with intentions of knowing that you probably gonna end up fucking them. You know that. And if it's not them, you're gonna mess with one of the homies to get to the big dog. Let's keep it a buck.
I mean, being a groupie at one point in time was just like glorified. Like it was a thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like to be in with the in crowd. Like, of course. I totally understand what you're saying. It's just unfortunate.
It's just a touchy subject. And then the fact that it's getting worse and worse by the day, I think that's even the bigger problem for Diddy. If I was him, I would be concerned. Like, I'm sure he's not getting any sleep right now.
Right. No, there's no way. Just like that picture we saw of him. He looks so stressed.
It
was like a Jesus take the wheel type of moment, to be honest.
I feel like he's stressed out because he's thinking, what other women or other accusations are going to come out, because he's done so much. He feels like because he has a certain level of power, he can treat and talk to women however he wants to. And there's a lot of men who think that way. You don't even have to be a celebrity to think that way. You think that women should automatically be submissive to you. And I feel like that's the type of person Diddy is.
Right. You know what? Let's see. I just had to, because I had one curious thought. NDAs. Other artists. Do you think people are not talking because of NDAs?
That could be a possibility.
Okay.
I feel like if it is a possibility, Diddy should have started those a lot earlier in his career. But then it also goes to show a lot of these situations or accusations took place around the same time.
So here's the interesting thing about an NDA. NDA, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. You can't talk about what goes on or what's happened, what you've seen, what you heard, or anything like that. However, what I just decided to look up is like, I said, does the NDA become null and void when criminal activity is present, right? So the answer to that is, if the enforcement of an NDA is found to be contrary to public policy, a judge may declare the agreement to be null and void.
Well,
so that means that it's like, I'm pretty sure Cassie was under NDA, but because of the events that happened to her, it's not things she just saw or heard. They actually happened to her. Like, they would null and void her NDA.
So And that could potentially be the case with these other women that have come out. Maybe they have signed NDAs, but because of what he physically did to them, now they can come out and speak on these situations.
But you got Danny DeCane singing.
Well, I saw the red flags when they were in Making the Band with him and Aubrey, when he was dating Aubrey. First of all, the fact that you were mixing business with pleasure, that was a red flag for me anyways.
He's always
But
done though.
yes, and the way he always treated the women versus the way he treated the men when he was doing his different Making the Band seasons, that's another red flag to me too. Be sweet to him 1 minute, they were being very submissive, doing what he wanted them to do, but as soon as they were like rebellious or they had an opinion opposing to what he wanted them to do, that's when you saw a different side of Diddy. Like if you go back and look at different videos and episodes of Making the Band, you will see those red flags as well.
Maybe all I remember is Dylon, and Dylon. And then them idiots walking into cheesecake. Like,
that's Making the Band, and they was in that house fighting. Oh my God.
Yes.
That was bad. She cussing everybody out, okay? She was ready to fight the guys. Dylan, Dylan.
5 greatest rappers in the world. Dylan, and Dylan. It'll never get old. It'll never get old. Okay. So back to 50 real quick. With 50 producing BMF and allegedly funded the bad boy back in the day, do you think 50 knows something?
Maybe. I kind of feel like that might be a little stretch, honestly. Because 50 is so much of a troll. Like you really don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know. He does this for fun and entertainment on social media. Like he throws off of that.
He does. I mean, it's funny, like I saw them pull up like one of his old interviews from back in the day when he said Puff wanted to take me shopping. And I was like, nigga, what? Hell no.
Look, my sister on live talking about 50 just mad Diddy was with his baby mama. This is true too. Like he had no limits with who he was dating and messing around with.
I can't. I mean, you can't get mad about that. You can't get mad. You know, he's on to Cuban Link. She's about to be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and your baby mama went to fuck with Diddy.
That's it.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
Let's see what other comments we got.
Let's see.
Sarah Turrell said her lawsuit was civil.
The lawsuit was civil. Cassie's lawsuit was civil. They all should be civil. I don't think. Like the thing about it is like with everything that's happening, I think the state can come pick it up if there's enough evidence. But a lot of these lawsuits are civil. It's not like the state versus Diddy. It's always the victim versus him at this point. It's like that with all of them at this point. So the state has the potential to pick it up though if they feel there is enough evidence. They won't even need.
Ooh, I hope they do. It was just the same way they exposed R. Kelly.
Roger Bonds is speaking up enough for Cassie that she
he's packing up and leaving Atlanta real quick.
It's another security guard that's talking too. Like Cassie would never have to testify. She got people talking for her. They're gonna call Azealia Banks. They're gonna call Aubrey. They're gonna call probably Bill. I don't know.
Aubrey has been waiting on this moment. This is the moment she has been waiting for, the opportunity for her to tell the truth about Diddy. Matter of fact, she's been trying to expose Diddy for the longest, but a lot of people weren't giving her the opportunity, or they weren't believing it. They felt like she was lying, or she was feeling a little salty because Danny DeCane didn't make it past their first 2 albums. I don't know, but she has been trying to put us on game for a very long time.
Lord have mercy. Hold on 1 second. So, all right. So right now I'm reading on this other situation because I feel like we done had enough like Diddy talk. So we gonna.
So we'll keep you guys updated on.
You done been around the world. So we about to move to Cameron and Mase.
Hey. All right, y'all. So in a recent episode of It Is What It Is, hosted by Cameron and Mase, they said they were reflecting on running a train on a woman in a whorehouse. And we got the clip for y'all.
I wish we could talk about the 90s. We can talk about it. When we was gangbanging bitches. when we all passionate. Y'all remember one time, I'm glad my man let me talk about the past. We was in a whorehouse one time, me and Murder. Me and Murder's in this whorehouse. So we left the bitch, we took the bitch out the whorehouse. I had a crib on 144th, a little stash crib over there between Sunf and Lennox. We bought this bitch over there. And so Mase was kind of on the way up. He didn't have his deal, but he's popping like it's about to happen. And I'm his man, because, we still Harlem. So the bitch sucked, pardon me, lady. We already talking bitch without. She's sucking his dick. Wow, wait, to get my dick sucked. Because I'm not hard yet, pause. I ain't getting hard off how sucking his dick. So when he start hitting it, I go get head. And so she giving me head, he hitting it from the back. And he started hitting her saying, "You wasn't sucking my dick like that." I said, "Yeah, it's my nigga." It wasn't, we all in there together doing all this shit like, past. Nah, it was killing crazy. Yo, remember Kim Cribble? I didn't know you was gonna bring it. You said I could do it. I wasn't gonna do it. I be trying to throw aliens behind these stories and shit, man.
Mase was running a train on a woman?
Yes.
We sure it was a woman.
This is all that timing, CJ. You just had
I'm just asking a question. I'm just,
allegedly that's what we are being told. So we're just gonna go with what is being put out there by him.
Okay.
So following the release of this clip, Joe Budden has his podcast and his co-host is Melissa Ford. Okay. And she was insinuating that there may have been some underage women at the warehouse and it could be potentially, criminal behavior.
Lord.
So, this all goes back to what we were just talking about with Diddy. We know Mase was a part of Bad Boy for a very, very decent amount of time. We'll say that.
Run to God. Maybe we should look at that. It really made him run to God. That man became a pastor.
Exactly.
And the car with a tranny. I'm confused. I'm confused.
What, CJ?
I ain't gonna say that. Because you know exactly what I was thinking. Like, where did he get his tranny behavior from?
So I'm just wondering.
Did he get a Bentley?
Did he learn this behavior from Diddy? Do you feel like this could have been potential behavior that he was doing while he was still a part of Bad Boy?
I mean,
our master. Did he think the blood of Jesus was going to save him?
You know what? I'm gonna tell this little story. This is crazy. So back in the day, back in the day, when I used to work for Bossip, right? And we all these tips and comments that came in anonymously. So one time we had this one story come in and they were talking about Diddy, how her and her homegirl they met Diddy. I forget where they met them at, but they met them somewhere and he invited them back to a residence. I don't know. I can't. This was so long ago, so bear with me. But they invited him back. He invited them back to a residence. Mm-hmm. They said it was like a little house party thing going on, and then next thing you know, they went like downstairs into a place where it was like, she described it as kind of like dark and gloomy or whatever. Like it was just dark. It was like, it wasn't fully lit up. And in this email, it was on some like, Diddy was like, what would you do to have pretty much everything in the world? And the girl was like, I would do anything. And he was like, would you sell your soul? And she was like, yes. And the friend was like, oh nah, bitch, I believe in Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the Father. Like I believe in all that. So the girl, she also named names. She said it was Diddy there. It was his security, Wolf, God rest his soul. He was there at the time, and her homegirl. And because the friend opted out, she left. It left her friend there and never talked to her friend again. But it was also like tantra. They were on like some real like tantra type, sex type shit. And reading the email was wild. So back then, I don't even think we put it out in terms of like his name when we released it. It was more of like a blind item. Like, can you guess the celebrity? You know what I'm saying? Because it was a wild ass story. But then also too, that was like around 2007, 2008, 2009. We were still one of those sites, as bold as we were to sit there and say a lot, we still monitor certain things that we did say, because it's like, we don't want the problems. Right. We don't want to deal with that. And then at the end of the day, there was like no like physical evidence to like back it up. But it's like, to hear those stories, I've heard stories, you know what I'm saying? Working in this industry, I've heard all kinds of stories. One story I've never heard though is him actually being physically abusive. So when all this came out, not gonna lie, I was like, damn, like I've heard a lot, but I've never heard that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's just one of those, you had to be in the room to witness that. And I wasn't in the room. So, but
well, that's where they get a little concerned with Cameron and Mase, because now they're sending threats to Melissa Ford for the statements that she made.
No, I can't laugh. Last time we said something, people took it way serious. Look, we're just here to tell the truth. We're not into anything illegal, so you can stop trying to put that together. Let me put you together right quick. Don't ever come for me and kill her. Ever.
And we're gonna be nice about it.
In your mother's life, nigga. This is not what you want.
Yo, I promise you, all the comments say, "Ooh," it's like you picked the wrong people to fuck with.
You picked the wrong one. Because I can't tell you how much I don't care. I couldn't even tell you how much.
Yo, because I'm gonna be honest with you.
And he's more pettier than I am.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Only reason and if need be, we will revisit this. If need be,
we can revisit it.
Yeah, but the whole thing, this is screaming desperate and attention. Like, yo, it really is. So I'm not going. But if need, nigga, because niggas is looking for us on
we
this.
We have never, ever tried to take nothing from nobody.
Secondly,
we only like people that love us more than we love ourselves. We have a
whole segment on that. Secondly, who was looking out for us?
We were young.
Who was looking out for us when we was, listen, man, we ain't gonna give it no attention, but tread lightly. Be careful. Because I'll tell you one thing, I know a lot of people are ICE.
Snipers and sharpshooters.
Snipers, sharpshooters, and I know people are ICE. I have you escorted back up across the border. Be careful. Be careful. And it screams desperation, but we'll get a petition to get you out the country. Cut it out.
I was gonna let you stay, but Killer.
Nah, I'll get out the damn country. I'll make 2 calls, man.
I mean, but Cameron's always good for sending threats to somebody. We know that this is what he does. He sends threats. He does not care because he wants to try me. That man wears purple and pink furs. What are you scared of?
Hats. You can't forget the matching hats, okay?
Matching hats. Mink to the flow.
Yes.
Okay. You would think he's from Detroit, an old time pimp player. You know what I mean?
A big Detroit pimp. All right, so Arturo was online and he said, do you think Diddy was ever raped or touched? It's been said that hurt people sometimes.
Ooh. Arturo, I mean, they do say that sometimes when there's a history, like when that happens, then there's a history. And then
Right.
if you're gonna do that, then you also have to go back to who he came up in the game under. And I don't like to speak on the dead. Personally, I don't. I kind of stay away from it. But his mentor, we just gonna leave it there. We just gonna
Look,
leave it
because
there.
I want to see what you was gonna say, CJ.
No. We just gonna kind of leave it there because it's like, no, like you said, hurt people do hurt people. And normally when something like that happens, there is a history somewhere. Or it could have been the way what he saw when he was raised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could come from his, I mean, not to say like his mom, but like, or like family or something like that. You like never know. You know what I mean? But that's a hard one right there. But then what about when you get so big in the world? You're a person that you can have anything that you want. Money is not an object.
Right.
People barely say no.
And you got women throwing themselves at you willingly.
Do you
Anything for
you
their
to push the envelope to see just how far you can go
sometimes they do.
without somebody screaming a safe word? You know what I mean?
And if you offer drugs and alcohol, like there's no telling what has taken place. And see, the other thing is too, I don't know if you remember, but this summer BT gave him like the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
The only artist that was there for him was Mary J. Blige. Lil Kim, Lil Steve, nobody else from Bad Boy, 112, none of them were there to support him.
I mean, they haven't been supporting him since they haven't been supported. Why would they support a man that hasn't been supporting them? Like at the end of the day, when you see it, Diddy's up here, he's on top. All his artists are, I don't want to say broke, but they got to do shows to get money.
Yes.
They just got their royalties, right?
Right. Literally right before all this came out.
Right before all this happened. They was making no money. Like what? Why would they come and support this man? Mary J. Blige,
she's still bopping, okay?
She's still bopping. She's still doing shows. But at the end of the day, I mean, they came up at the same time too.
So that's the other thing too. The Grammys are going to come up, and you know, Love, his recent album, was nominated for a couple of awards. Do you think they should block him from being able to receive if he was to be the winner or to even be nominated anymore?
No, I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, that's that man's craft. Like, it's unfortunate the events that are happening in his personal life, but music is what he do. That's what he does. That's what he's always gave us. And at the end of the day, the same way R. Kelly did what he did to all those girls back in the day, but at the same time, you gonna step in the name of motherfucking love. You see what I'm saying? Like the song can come on, it's never gonna stop you from bopping. You know what I'm saying? Diddy's the same way.
I'm not gonna lie. I still bop to R. Kelly's music. That is, I grew up on R. Kelly's music. I grew up in Chicago, so that was like the biggest artist that we really knew.
Exactly.
So for me, his craft is great. And then that's the thing too with Diddy. I actually love the Love album, and now it's like I kind of feel guilty if I listen to it, but it was good. And there's not a lot of good albums coming out anymore. Not as much as they were back in the day. Let me say that.
Exactly. All we do is resort back to his old music. All of them. All of their old music. All of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should take that away from him. You can't take it away from him. Now, will politics come into play? Absolutely. Absolutely. But just, it's like the whole thing with cancel culture. Like, guilty before proven innocent.
Right.
It's not right. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like T.I. because it ain't going to be no beers.
No sex shit.
Ain't gonna be no music.
It ain't gonna be nothing up in here.
Can't be nothing. You gotta stand on business.
Yes, until y'all get it right, okay?
I mean, I don't know how many clubs be selling beers and stuff, you know.
T.I.,
you lost me with that one.
Yeah,
you lost me with that one. But you know,
he was standing on business.
He was standing on business. But we're gonna wrap this up. But before we wrap this up, I am gonna touch on that one real quick. So if y'all didn't know, T.I. went and stood on business because somebody decided to play with him and his family.
Okay.
Right? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? So everybody tried to blame the establishment. And so unless you know how clubs work, the way clubs work is most of them have promoters. So promoters are the ones that make all these flyers and do all this, whatever the case may be. But what happened with the situation is the dumbass promoters from that nightclub, 1145, I mean, we all know that. The dumbass promoters on R&B night decided to say, come sing, sit, or get put in the chokehold. Like, with a picture of T.I. and his son. Like, why would you do that? Too soon. You ever heard of too soon? That was
entirely too soon. This was like 2 days after the
like
whole
2 days after.
Yeah.
But anyways, the thing about it is though, it's like the promoters got caught up in the hype and now they had the club on the line. Right. So the T.I. decided to demand money. Like, okay, you're gonna use my likeness. I need a check. That's what he said. The promoters ain't had no check. They ain't had no money. So you know what? The club stood on business. The club paid the promoters. So the club paid T.I. So he decided to come and actually host the night. That's pretty much like really what ended up happening. But the promoters fucked up. The club didn't fuck up. The promoters fucked up.
And it wasn't 11:45. It was actually the promoters who
fucked up. Actually the promoters. It was not 11:45, but 11:45 did pay that balance. Now the promoters they owe that money.
Run me my money.
Yeah, and let's just say that night they still didn't make enough money to cover the debt, so they still owe that money. So all I have to say is at the end of the day, when it comes to, business owners, make sure the people that you have associated with you don't make you look stupid, make you look bad. Like, that's horrible. Don't do that. And to the dumbass promoters at 11:45. 11:45 should fire y'all.
Okay, find some new promoters because that's crazy. Y'all made a bad name for us, and we weren't even the ones who did that.
Absolutely.
So, it's a part of your brand. That messes up your brand, your name. Like,
it does. You got the king of the South coming over here talking about it ain't gonna be no beers.
No sections, none of that shit.
No sections, no music, mercy, none of that, okay?
I think it must be new to the city. This is my city, okay? Don't play with him.
Must be from out of town.
Yeah, gotta be. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to this InStyle Atlanta news break. Make sure y'all are following us at InStyle Atlanta on all social media platforms for the latest in entertainment news. And y'all go ahead, hit us in the inbox. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about. Make sure you follow me, Miss J MISS Jordan _radio. CJ, tell them where they can follow you as sus.
You can follow me on Instagram at Saint CJ. No, wait. What is my Instagram? Damn, hold on.
Ain't it?
It's horrible. I ain't gave my Instagram out in a long time. Bear with me. My bad. Oh, it's at Saint.CJ. So SAINT.CJ. Why did I not know that?
All right, y'all.
Standing on business because ain't gonna be no beers.
Period. Or no sections.
No sections. No mercy.
No ticket, no skates. Okay, he said what he said.
Did he take it back to ATL? He did.
I did. He said a no ticket, no skates. Okay.
I love it. All right. We're gonna see y'all next week.
All right. Love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.